welcome to the preview segment of the Three Quarters podcast, your official podcast for the 2018 Rugby Africa Gold Cup. Also remember to jump onto the hashtag Road to Japan to support your team as they look to qualify for the Rugby World Cup in 2019 in Japan. I'm Damima Duffield.
And I'm Kamuya.
So the 2018 Rugby Africa Gold Cup is back!
Finally.
Back with a bang.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, it will be back with a bang.
Yeah. It's been a long time, man.
It's been a while. I feel like it's like the tournament ended, and this is a new tournament starting.
That's true. And even I have not had anything to do over Saturdays.
Oh my word,
there's no rugby to watch, so yeah, I'm happy it's back, man. I'm happy it's back.
Yeah. So games this coming weekend, Uganda versus Tunisia and Zimbabwe versus Namibia. So we'll look at the Uganda versus Tunisia game first, and I'll just go through the games that they had before. So Uganda played against Namibia first and ended up losing 55-6, and then also lost to Kenya 22-38. And Tunisia played against Namibia and lost 118-0, and played against Zimbabwe and pipped them just at the end 18-24. Now this is going to be an interesting matchup, I think, because they're both teams that you've sort of seen. I mean, against Namibia both did really not well. I mean, of course, Tunisia worse than Zimbabwe. But I think
Uganda.
Then Uganda. But their next two games had much better performances. Uganda, of course, had their stalwarts back against Kenya. So that helped boost their team. And Tunisia just pulled a surprise out of the hat against Zimbabwe and played to the last minute. So I feel like with Uganda, they've got to get their backs running against Tunisia. I feel like that is where their strength is. Also, I mean, obviously you'll have your Philip Wokorach, Michael Wokorach, you'll have your Ivan Magomu back from the Sevens Rugby World Cup. With Tunisia, one thing that Uganda I feel need to be careful about is the fact that Tunisia play to the last whistle. Now you could be winning the whole game and then they just decide nope, this one's ours. So they've got to Uganda have got to watch out for that. But also the fact that Tunisia's forwards are something else. Definitely a force to reckon with. But how do you think that game will go?
I mean, first, I hope Uganda can field their stars. You've mentioned them: Philip Wokorach, Michael Wokorach, Pius Agena, Justin Kimono, Ivan Magomo, I don't know, Foyroth. Everyone was at the Sevens World Cup. I hope that Uganda can field those players, because only then do they have a chance. Only then can they mount a chance or mount a challenge, and only then can they produce exactly what I think is about Uganda rugby, and that's a flair. They need to get their backs up. Ivan Magomo needs to be tip-top shape. He needs to bring in his players, because that's the only way they'll be able to kill Tunisia. They definitely have a superior backline, much more superior than Tunisia does. And if Ivan Magomo can be able to get his guys in, then just leave the work to the rest. I mean, like we've said, Philip Wokorach, Michael Wokorach, Pius Agena, Justin Kimono, they'll do whatever they need to do to produce the results that they need to produce. So that, I think, is what Uganda need to do. They need to get quick ball. I don't know, Foyroth at scrum half needs to move the ball very quickly if they're to have a chance against Tunisia. I must add that, in my opinion, Uganda are more conditioned than Tunisia are. So they need to mount on that. They need to capitalize on that, and then I think they'll be able to produce a good result. What do I think Tunisia need to do? Choke the ball at the breakdown. Just slow the ball down, because if you play at a high tempo, we know who it's going to favor. It's definitely going to favor the Ugandans. Tunisia need to slow the ball down. They need to keep it tight within their forwards. They need their forwards to really dominate, because only then will they have a chance against Uganda. All in all, I just feel that if Uganda, it's all dependent on the team that Uganda fields. And if Uganda fields their stars, then I think they're going to beat Tunisia. I also miss the Philip Wokorach chip. I haven't seen that in a while, and I feel like it would really work well in this game, especially if the Tunisians don't know. I don't know if they're listening, but if they don't know it, I think that could definitely catch them off guard. And not only Philip Wokorach, Ivan Magomo was a very good chip kick himself. So look, the Tunisians, I hope they're watching tape, because these guys are very entertaining and flair, and they have a lot of flair in the backline. So they'll need to watch out for that.
So the second game will be Zimbabwe versus Namibia.
Yeah.
Of course, Namibia have been top of the table so far. They've beaten annihilated everybody in their path, to be honest. I mean, it's not even been narrow scoreline.
Yes.
It's been like at least 30 points between them and whoever they're playing.
Yeah.
So we have Zimbabwe who have played, they had 3 games each actually.
Yes.
So Zimbabwe have played against Morocco and they drew, which I don't think many people expected.
True.
Then they played against Kenya, lost that game 36. Was it 45 or 38?
Yeah, 45.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And then they played against Tunisia, where they lost 14-18 just in the dying seconds of the game.
Yes.
I feel like, for me, Zimbabwe is a team that I had very high expectations for in this tournament, and they've just not really showed up for me. Yes, I'm not saying they haven't played well.
Yeah.
I just feel like when it mattered, they didn't go the extra mile.
Yes.
And I'd like to see, Zimbabwe scrape out a win, but against Namibia, that's going to be very tough. Namibia played against Uganda, won 55-6. Then played against Tunisia and won 118-0. And then played against Morocco, where they beat them 63-7.
Yes.
So, it doesn't look like they're going to lose anytime soon. Just being honest, that I feel like, yes, this game will definitely go in favor of Namibia, but the question is by how much, because that now depends on how Zimbabwe decide to play on the day.
But Damima, you need to remember that last year Zimbabwe actually did take Namibia to the last minute, and it was away, it was in Windhoek. And the way I feel is that somehow Zim always bring the noise when they're playing Namibia, and it's not going to be easy for Namibia. It's not going to be easy like the other 2 games. It's going to be a tough one.
Actually, just to add on to that, Zimbabwe are going to be incorporating their players from the Rugby Sevens World Cup.
Yes.
So I'd like to see them play.
Yes.
I'd like to see, if maybe a few quicker guys out there on the wing.
Yes.
I don't know if you'll get bigger guys from Sevens,
no.
but maybe add to the backline.
Yeah, but and I just feel that we can't write Zim off, and especially against Namibia. It's not going to be easy. Namibia, of course, are going to be very clinical. They're going to play it, and the most annoying thing if you're an opponent of Namibia is they're very unpredictable.
Yeah.
You don't know if they're going to slow the ball down, you don't know if they're going to run the ball, and in both areas they're very good at it.
Yes.
So I think that's what Namibia will of course change according to whatever they feel suits them on the day. But I don't want to take it away from Zim. Zim have been very good against Namibia previously. They sort of have the mindset, and I think they'll be able to push it. But in all honesty, with what I've seen, based on what I've seen,
this tournament this year,
I just think Namibia are too strong.
Yep.
And I think Namibia are going to win this one.
Yep. But best of luck to all teams. If Zimbabwe, pull a surprise on us and beat Namibia, that will definitely shake things up on the table.
Yep.
Because for Namibia, it's a must-win for all games to be at the top.
Yes.
If they lose to Zimbabwe, then it opens it up to second, on the table so far, which is Kenya.
Yes.
So they need to win this game.
They do need to win this game.
Zimbabwe, good luck. But yes, best of luck to all the other teams as well.
That's true.
Guys should definitely watch these games. They'll be live on
Quest Sports. Yes.
And that is on YouTube and on Facebook.
That's true.
Don't miss out, guys. Doesn't matter where you are, you can watch them.
Yep.
And let us know who you think is going to win. Remember, you can do this by finding us on social media. That is by following us on Instagram, liking our page on Facebook, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. I'm Damima Duffield.
And I'm Kamuya.
See you after the games on Monday.